Marketing positivity. Will an intervention enhance marketing students' subjective happiness scores? Hello, hello. My name is Sarah Rist, and my co-authors and I are faculty members within the College of Business at Ohio University. More specifically, Mamita Das Jumle, Jessica Babin Weeks, and I are all professors in the marketing department, and Shawnee Meek and Mary Tucker are professors in the management department. Here is the outline for this session. First, I'll introduce the research topic, and then I'll define subjective happiness according to this study, and I'll go over the literature review, research study, and results, and I'll discuss the summary and touch on the references and appendix slides as well. So happiness is the meaning and purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. This research provides a summary review of the positivity literature and discusses a short positivity intervention study that was designed and executed to test whether or not the overall subjective happiness levels for students enrolled in a marketing research course would actually increase compared to the happiness levels reported by their peers in a sibling course that had no intervention. This study does expand on previous positivity research, which indicated a strong need to assist students in developing a more positive outlook. And the primary objective of the study was to assess the impact of a positivity intervention on students' subjective happiness scores using a control group and an experimental group to determine whether or not students' positivity levels would be impacted through instruction in a given semester. By incorporating a positivity intervention within the experimental group, the positivity levels of those students were projected to increase significantly as compared to those students who were part of the control group with no intervention. And this forecasted result that we had prior to data collection was especially anticipated due to the anecdotal observations regarding students' mental health and well-being levels, which were on the negative side. They were more affected due to the various COVID-19 impacts, especially as the pandemic persisted. For this research, we define subjective happiness, which is used interchangeably with positivity, as experiencing positive emotions and meaning while having an optimistic state of mind. There are numerous benefits of achieving higher levels of happiness and positivity in our everyday lives, personally, professionally, and academically. Business professionals continue to participate in professional certificates in workplace happiness. For example, Harvard and the University of California, Berkeley offer professional certificates in workplace happiness. Similarly, executives are becoming certified in applied positive psychology coaching through places such as the Flourishing Center. So, what are some more specific benefits of happiness, and how can having a happiness state of mind improve organizations and individuals? I am so glad you asked. Let's take a look at the literature. Individuals who achieve and maintain an optimistic mindset are seeing improvements in their physical and mental health, personal relationships, and income. Happier individuals have stronger immune systems as well as improved resiliency, which, by the way, increases problem-solving abilities as well as positive reframing. The research also indicates that people with positive levels that are higher typically procrastinate less and plan more thoroughly when seeking employment. And another fabulous reward of maintaining a positive mindset shows up in our relationships in life. Individuals with increased happiness levels have higher quality relationships in general. They actually stay married longer. They're less lonely. They earn more money and they give more freely to charity than their less happy peers. Not only are individuals reaping the vast benefits of happiness and positivity, the rewards carry over into organizations as well. The literature shows that happiness practices continue to positively impact businesses in various industries. So, what are some of those benefits of happiness at work? I am so glad you asked that question as well. Some of today's more successful businesses place employee happiness at the core of their values and culture. Companies such as Patagonia and Green Cargo have incorporated happiness activities into their company culture. As a result, these companies continue to reap benefits such as increased profit, lower turnover rates, positive cultures, and consistent recognition on lists of the best places to work. Research supports that investing in employee happiness results in an increased profit, lower turnover, and a more desirable place to work. Happier employees, they are more creative and innovative. They provide a higher quality of customer service that's delivered to customers in various capacities. Other benefits of happiness at work include improved teamwork and collaboration, increased positive leadership, and a stronger commitment to corporate social responsibility and bettering the world. Positivity improves students' lives personally, professionally, and academically as well. Let's take a look at some of the benefits of happiness in college. The top 10% of the happiest college students studied are reported to have strong relationships, and they set higher goals. They're more energized, and they have extra energy, especially after setting those goals and working towards those goals. Similarly, more positive college students are shown to be more cooperative than other students. And positive college students achieve higher academic achievement levels and overall are more satisfied with their life than their less happy peers. Additionally, students who are happier often outperform their less happy peers in college, and on average, happier college students are more productive and earn higher ratings. Positive students are shown to be more creative when searching for jobs, and on average, they end up getting invited to interview for more jobs and internships a lot more frequently than their less happy counterparts. Many colleges and universities are implementing happiness interventions into their curriculum at various levels. Happiness classes are being offered at various institutions such as Harvard and Yale, as noted on the slide, which happen to be two of the most popular classes in each of their universities' histories, respectively. And in 2015, there was a study of college students participating in a semester-long project-based learning, so PBL learning simulation with a client focusing on increasing positive organizational scholarship, which is POS, which focuses on employees cultivating resilience, positive energy, and flourishing. Over the course of the semester, students reported higher levels of well-being, meaning, and purpose. The How of Happiness and Happier. These are some examples of books that provide simple, scientifically supported activities to increase individual happiness. Research is supporting the premise that a semester course in positivity and well-being results in students' increased positivity and well-being levels. However, not so clear is whether one module embedded in a business marketing course can positively impact students' happiness over the course of one semester. Our study expands on previous positivity research with the goal of assessing the impact of a positivity intervention on students' subjective happiness scores using a control group and an experimental group. The research data sets were collected from January through April of 2021, when society remained in the middle of a global viral pandemic. And during this time, many college courses were being delivered in a virtual remote format, online, on the computer, nationwide. By incorporating a positivity intervention within the experimental group, the positivity levels of those students were projected to increase significantly as compared to those who were part of the control group that didn't have an intervention. And we had forecasted this result prior to the data collection process. I said earlier about the pandemic. We were highly anticipating this study and this positivity intervention, especially because we had anecdotal observations regarding students' mental health and well-being levels being negatively impacted due to the COVID-19 impacts, especially as the pandemic persisted. During spring semester of 2021, 110 students at a Midwestern university were enrolled in a marketing course and participated in this study. This particular marketing course was delivered virtually across different class sections, and the experimental group was comprised of 75 of those students, and the remaining 35 students were part of the control group. All of the participating students were undergraduates, with most of them being juniors and seniors studying business, and the majority of those business students were specifically majoring in marketing. We collected the data at the beginning of the semester from both groups, followed by the positivity intervention exercise in the experimental group. And we collected additional data from both the experimental and control groups throughout the semester, at the midpoint as well as at the end. All of the participating students in this research did complete the pre, mid, and post-semester surveys. We developed a positivity intervention at the beginning of the semester for the students in the experimental group, and they were instructed to watch a couple different videos online. I'll tell you more about that shortly, but they did a reflection assignment, and they were asked to practice some positivity and gratitude exercises. There was no positivity intervention for the students in the control group, and there were no additional interventions applied later in the semester. And you can see T1 in the slide indicates the pre-survey, which was the beginning of the semester survey, actually before day one of class. And then the midpoint of the semester was a midterm survey. And then the final T2 survey was administered and completed by the participants at the end of the semester. We did use Qualtrics to create the surveys, and identical questions were asked to the participating students in both of the groups, the experimental and the control groups, across all of the surveys that we administered. The survey questions measured subjective positivity levels by using the Subjective Happiness Scale, or the SHS, with indicator statements based on a 7-point Likert scale. The student survey respondents were asked the following series of questions with a successive response structure ranging from 1, which indicated the lowest agreement or positivity level, up to a 7, which signified the highest agreement or positivity level, with the middle point, that 4, representing the neutral response. The first question we asked students in each of the surveys was, in general, how happy of a person do you consider yourself? The next question was, compared with most of your peers, how happy do you consider yourself? The third SHS question was, some people are generally very happy. They enjoy life regardless of what is going on, getting the most out of everything. To what extent does this characterization describe you? And finally, the last SHS question that we had for them across all of the surveys was, some people are generally not very happy. Although they are not depressed, they never truly seem as happy as they could be. To what extent does this characterization describe you? The positivity intervention did include a guest presentation, which was originally planned to be done live and in person inside the classroom for each group. However, due to the courses being changed from traditional in-person delivery over to the virtual remote online delivery, the guest presentation was recorded and the video link was provided to all of the students within the experimental group to watch online asynchronously during their own time. And as part of the positivity intervention, the students in the experimental group were also instructed to watch a TED Talk online asynchronously during their own time. And then after watching both of those videos, the students were asked to complete the reflection assignment form. We had steps laid out for them to follow, and we had writing prompts for them. So to give you an example, at the beginning of the form, they were instructed to practice some of the methods to increase happiness, which were discussed in the videos. and then they were asked to type their thoughts in a few sentences regarding how they felt afterward. Examples of the positivity practices included things such as engaging in 2 minutes of deep breathing, recalling the most meaningful experience they had had in the past 24 hours, and also another example was writing 3 things that they were most grateful for on that particular day. So the students in the experimental group were also asked to type out their answers and their responses to really, we called it the best possible self-reflection, and then to explain how the exercise made them feel, what kind of an impact it had on them, and whether or not they felt any differently about their future. The various data sets of the experimental group was compared to the end of the semester subjective happiness data sets of the control group using the independent samples t-test. Although the end of the semester subjective happiness mean reported by the experimental group was slightly higher than that of the control group, the difference between the two groups was not statistically significant. Therefore, the final results of this particular study revealed that students were not significantly happier in the experimental group versus in the control group. While the study did not yield statistically significant results, as you can see in the appendix and in the actual paper, it does highlight some important findings. The first thing is the positivity intervention in the experimental group. It only occurred one time, and it took place relatively early in the semester. So this finding suggests that there may be latency effects that cause the intervention effects to have diminished over time, which may have led to lower than expected levels of subjective happiness detected at the end of the semester. Future research could measure the impact of positivity intervention immediately after the intervention and subsequently over different time periods during the 16-week semester to track the time effects in the students' self-reported subjective happiness scores. Secondly, during the particular semester that we conducted the study, all class sections of the marketing course were delivered in an online format. So it is possible that the positivity intervention would have been much more impactful if we would have been able to be in a situation where we could safely deliver those courses in person during that semester. Furthermore, it's possible that students were experiencing all kinds of difficulties during that semester that were exacerbated from the ongoing viral pandemic. So that could have overshadowed the impact of the positivity intervention as well. Future research on the impact of positivity interventions on students' subjective happiness scores may be more fruitful in a traditional in-person classroom setting and in more normal times. Finally, we believe that limitations in our sample size may have been another factor. Future research could increase the sample size to include the intervention efforts in other marketing courses to overcome the sample size limitation and simultaneously enhance the generalized results. And as mentioned, although the results of this particular experiment were not anticipated, it is important to note that the positive psychology revolution continues to grow exponentially as research continues to support the idea that happiness increases every aspect of individuals' personal and professional lives through specific, intentional, and ongoing activities. Ed Diener supports this notion as he notes that happiness is not just a place, but also a process. Happiness is an ongoing process of fresh challenges, and it takes the right attitudes and activities to continue to be happy. Please refer to the conference paper for complete references, as well as the conference paper for more details on the specific research. Thank you all so much, and best wishes for a happy and beautiful day. Take care.